This was a surprise. We had just been reading about the some plants have been knocked over. Could be a bear even, I guess. Makes me want to watch my back. We're in Buren County, Arkansas today, and here outside this little community of Scotland, Arkansas, is the Scott Henderson Gulf Mountain Wildlife Management Area. And within the Gulf Mountain Wildlife Management Area, there's an area in that with a more unique designation. And we're going to go show you that. Come with us. This is the entrance of the Gulf Mountain Wildlife Area. There's some maps so you can see where you're at and where you're going. Place for reservations. It looks like it's full of cobwebs. But yeah. It has 14,000 acres. It's managed by the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Nice 70s car here. Maybe 60s, 70s. We're going the right direction at least. There's the 70s car and the arrow pointing ahead. We are inside one of Arkansas's little known landscapes. One that you've probably never even heard of or seen. Today we're here to show you the Arkansas Savanna. Normally I would think of Savanna being in Africa or Australia or something like that. But no, there's actually savannas in the Ozarks. We're going to take you out to look at them right now. In fact, they're right over my shoulder. So we're at the Gulf Mountain Wildlife Management Area Nature Trail. We're at the trailhead. This is the trail map. Hunting season dates, if you click that right there. It's got some giant tadpoles in there. We just saw a couple of deer run down the trail, come out of the woods and run down the trail. This is the mystery area. You pour that solution on there and it'll reveal a hidden message about the savanna. Nice little bridge. That's cool. Big flat rock. Another big flat rock. Very cool. So the first question I had was, are savannas native to Arkansas? I'm assuming they were, you know, when I saw this. Yes, they are. And there's remnants of thousands of acres here in Missouri and Arkansas, like the Turkey Mountain Savanna area, the Chesney Prairie Natural Area in Arkansas, and there's Turkey Pen Hollow Savanna and Chariton Hills Natural Area in Missouri, and there are others too. The thing with those natural ones is, like say in the Buffalo National River Park, there's less burning nowadays in those areas, and the savannas will grow over after there's no fires for a while. But they are dwindling away because these savannas require burning every now and then. So this one here is a from what I read, is not a natural savanna, or at least in its entirety. Maybe it started as a natural one somewhere over here around. Anyway, this one is a reconstruction of a natural Ozark savanna, but it requires fire. You burn it they burn it every so often, and it keeps it to where native grasses and they call it bunch grasses, can grow all under here, and it kills out the undergrowth. These are mostly post oak, or also called blackjack oaks, and they're naturally resistant to fire. It's like some kind of animal dragon something. Could have been a turtle or something. They can study these and see what it takes to maintain, and see what kind of plants and animal life will gravitate towards this kind of environment when it's maintained in sort of a natural way. I mean, they have to burn it, but in nature, without man-made controls, fire controls, lightning strikes and things like that, would have normally burned out these forests on occasion. These savannas will draw in native plants and animals like pollinators and types of birds and things like that are beneficial to the environment here. Well, we came all this way for an education on savannas, and there is no plaques, no signs telling us what we're looking at. The only information I can get is off the interwebs, but you can see it. We can see it, right?
Yes.
The breeze feels good, and it's not too hot, but yet the equipment is overheating. We're almost to the beginning of the trail. It's a short loop. I think it's like a half-a-mile loop. Didn't seem like it really. But we walk probably a half a mile every day anyway. Kind of got used to it. Well, that was a short hike. It was only half a mile, I think. So we're off to the rest of the auto tour. Was a nice surprise. We're back on the auto tour, as they call it, and the road's a little rough right here. It looks like they've been working on it or having drainage problems, but it's still doable. And then off to our left is the savanna again that we just looked at from the trail. It reminds me of the forest after it's logged and, you know, a couple of burns or cleaned up or whatever. this area is not very big. It's probably, I don't know, I'll have to look at it online. I'll put it on the screen right here. Since they didn't have any of the plaques, the educational signs in their places, I'm having to go do the research online afterwards. Class, we have nothing. There's some pine trees out there. I have a cicada up there. He's thinking about singing, but he's kind of croaking, but he's not really croaking either. It's a cicada. He's just thinking about doing a noise, but maybe he's got a sore throat from all the screaming and hollering they do. It is beautiful to sit out and think that this could be thousands of years ago, and you're just standing here in the middle of an untouched forest, and this is what it naturally looks like after the Ice Age. You got savanna on this side, and you got woolly forest on that side. There are campsites here, like we saw the sign there, but I believe you have to have a hunting license, and maybe even have to be during a season to camp here. I'm not sure. I would check that out with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, I guess. Who would have thought that Arkansas had savanna? Well, I guess probably most people, but I didn't. Well, we found another sign with no sign, and it looks like a prairie. Well, take a look. Wind's kind of blowing, as it does in the prairie. I can only imagine what this is. And why is that? Because there's no sign. Here we are at one of the campsite areas. It looks like there's campfire rings and stuff like that. If you were coming here to camp in the appropriate time, whenever that is, this is what you would get. And then there's this some more down that way. Looks like a designated campsite area to me, but what do I know? Got the Charlie Brown Christmas tree here, all by himself. Okay, let's get to it. Not much left to go. Looks like we've reached the end of the road. It's the end of the auto tour loop. Probably still technically part of the auto tour when we get back on this road, but this is the end of the loop part. Yeah, this is still part of it. We're off of the auto tour now, but I just want to see what's down here. Didn't say off limits, so I guess it's okay.
I would take it that way. Yes.
Hey, a swamp. It's a swamp. I gotta stop and look at the swamp. Check this out. This is a, as we called in Louisiana, a swamp. It's a swampy area. Little pond. And what I noticed is those are cypress trees, and we don't have these much in the Ozarks. It's mostly around places like this, but there's a lot in southern Arkansas and places like that, but I haven't seen very many in the Ozarks. It looks like something has been in the water knocking over trees here. Plants. Now this is what we call a waller. And it's a wallow or something. See all that dry mud? Something's gone in here and played around in that water. May have even gone all the way through the water. I see deer tracks, or is that hog tracks? I can't tell in the mud like this. Maybe both. But some plants have been knocked over. Could be a bear even, I guess. Something went out there. Makes me want to watch my back. They call these cypress knees. This right here, this grows off of the roots of the cypress tree. Usually in the swampy areas, you know, these will be sticking up in the water. You can see one back there too, right over there. A lot of people I knew had lamps with these, made out of these. They would peel it off, stain it, clear coat it, put a lamp kit into it, and make really nice lamps. There's a bunch of them back there. So we just found something kind of rare. There's a tree called the Ozark Chinquapin. I think that's Chinquapin. I don't know how you say it, but I think that's right. And it used to be all across the country, and especially the southern states, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, all that. But in 1904, there was a chestnut blight that started killing them, and it wiped out almost all of them. In fact, they thought they were pretty much going extinct. In the 60s, it reached this area here in the Ozarks and wiped them out. They were dead and killed everywhere, according to what I've read. Back in 2007, they formed a Ozark Chinquapin Foundation, and they are trying to restore them. They're cross-pollinating with the ones that the survivors they find, and they kind of find these trees out in pockets and places, and they don't kind of tell everybody where they are, and so they kind of protect them a little bit more that way. But here we just found a spot where they are planting them right on the side of the road, right next to the forestry shop here. But I'm gonna show you these little trees. They got them all lined up here. So I've never seen one in person. Of course, there's some of these are dying because, you know, they're trying to reproduce them. But here's one right here, an endangered Chinquapin tree. I wish it was bigger so I could see what they look like. At least I get to see the leaves. I wanted to see the leaves myself so I could identify one when I'm out in the forest. So there, see all these rods out here? They've got them lined up. There's a pretty good one right there. As it gets dry up here, you can hear the crunchy leaves or grass. But yeah, they're a little wilty still. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I never expected to see one, especially on this trip. Not that I've not even looked for one yet, because I just read about them online the other day. Look at this.
Pretty neat.
That is an endangered tree. I'm not sure what their actually designation is, you know, the endangered or critical. I don't know. It may not be endangered anymore, but I think it is. And but they're doing this to bring them back. As you can see them, the rows out here. That's a lot. Definitely a cool find here. It's not that often you get to see something like this that's endangered and stuff. I mean, I've never seen anything that's been endangered, or a plant or animal. Have you?
No.
This is truly a unique find, and yeah, it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's the truck, squeaky Ford, and the sign here at the intersection. We're at the beginning of the forest management area, and there's their shop there. This was a surprise. We had just been reading about the Ozark Chinquapin trees and their almost extinction there, just like the 2-3 days ago. Mm-hmm. And I'd never even heard of them, but this is a great stop if you're out exploring the Transamerica Trail here in Arkansas. Well, that about does it for today's adventure out into the savannas of the Ozarks here at the Post Oak Savanna in Van Buren County, Arkansas. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you like it, and type in swamp in the comments. Swamp, SWAMP, and let us know that you made it all the way through this very informative and interesting video about the savannas in the Ozarks. See you next time. We're Nerd County Project, over and out.
Bye.